vote
Just
for early.
Early on Christmas Eve? Early? Anne Marie? A difference? What do you prefer time?
Early.
Early. Okay. So maybe we'll do that. We'll schedule 5:30. Sound good? Do an early Sunday evening service for Christmas Eve.
If that's okay with MCC.
Saturday and Sunday?
If that's okay with MCC.
Yeah, I'll check. I'm sure it'll be okay because it's plenty of time between all the services in between. So
They shouldn't be in here until about 9 o'clock for their annual
rehearsals
stuff. So.
And then the second thing is, it's the end of the year, and so we still have our jar of change. To be the change here in Las Vegas. Dave and I talked about it, and see what y'all think. We were thinking maybe to use that change, and then whatever you want to put on top of that is to use it for Amanda's GoFundMe on the medical bills. Fine. Okay. Then we will use that for the her medical bills. That way we don't have to put it into the GoFundMe account. You don't have to put it in that, and it would save that way because when you take on the GoFundMe, they charge a fee on that. So this way she'll directly get all the cash.
She'll get all the change.
Yeah. So that's what we use that for. A little bit about tonight's worship service. So tonight is a healing service, a wellness service. So we'll give anybody that's comfortable with to do laying on hands of another person. You can come up and whoever wants to have a blessing. Because we're going to skip over today during the worship service the taze part, where we pour the water. And on communion, I'm not going to do a blessing during communion. I'll just give you communion. And then right after communion, we'll do the wellness part of the service, where we can do the laying on of hands. And that's kind of why I'm wearing this today, because this is my prayer robe. And so I just feel like coming before God and asking and requesting is a serious matter and something to be taken seriously. And laying on hands of somebody. And so I just wear something more different, a better, something that I feel is between me and God, a holy garment. And so we'll do that this evening right after communion. And so anybody that would like to be prayed over, you're more than welcome to come forward. Anybody that wants to put hands and help pray for people. Has anybody never seen laying on of hands and praying for people? Or has everybody experienced it and know what it is? You've never seen it, or you have?
I've seen it and experienced it.
Everybody's comfortable with that? Just so everybody's comfortable too and knows what's happening during.
She doesn't know.
Huh?
She doesn't know.
You never seen laying on hands when people pray over somebody or when they're sick and all that too? And some people in some churches, and I probably will too. I can't, they will go into speaking of tongues, which is a form of praying. It's communicating with God. So, just so you know what's happening when we are praying over people. Okay. You ask. A lot of times you'll ask for healing or just different things. Like on my ordination, the people laid hands on me when I became ordained. So there's different reasons why you lay hands on a person for wellness and stuff. Anne Marie said her congregation, before she left to come here to Las Vegas, they prayed over her, say travels and stuff, and to find a new church. And so you pray for different things, and a lot of people will lay hands upon the individual for that request. And it's a matter of people believing during that time. So that's what we'll be doing right after communion this evening. And so if we do get running long, because we should, that's something where you take your time and pray on the individual, not rush. This is nothing to rush. So if we do get it running along and you need to leave or something, just walk out quietly. And Leo, also, I invite you also, if we do get running a little long, I don't know, just, if you need to leave, that's fine. We can forego the last song if you need to, okay? All right?
Please stand if you are willing and able. And go to worship with expectation. God revealed in you in astonishing ways.
God comes to us in real time. God comes to us in dreams.
Sometimes God's presence is hard to take, difficult to believe.
Oh God, we long to believe. Help our unbelief.
God is present here. God is working in our midst.
When our mouths are filled with laughter, our tongues shout out with joy.
You're opening him. There is a spirit in the air, page 23, Psalm 24.
On this third week of
It's good.
week of Advent season, we celebrate joy. During this time of pain and agony on the cross, Jesus taught us that the real joy comes through the Spirit of God. May the peace of Christ be with you.
And also with you.
Let us greet each other in God's peace. the club.
Hi, Todd.
Hi. I feel better if it's worse. Thank you very much.
Don't light my fire, but peace be with you. I said, don't light my fire, but peace be with you.
Yes.
Don't light my fire, but peace be with you.
Are you sure that everybody can see me?
The words of Ava were frightened to Mary.
She didn't know what to imagine. I can't blame her. Can you?
When she realized the truth of Gabriel's word, Mary sung, Mary danced, Mary praised God for the Holy Spirit blooming within her.
We rekindled the candles of pause, peace, and amor, love. Today we also light the candle of joy, Shabbat. May this light brighten the Advent season, reminding us that God is peace, God is love, and the Spirit of God brings eternal joy. In the Spirit of Jesus Christ, we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
My brothers and sisters, wherever you face trials of any kind, consider it nothing but joy. But can you know that the testing of your faith, besides endurance, and let it endurance have its full effect, so that you may be mature and completely lacking in nothing.
Will you pray with me? Dear gracious God, we thank you for today. We thank you for the season of Advent. as we move through these emotions of peace, paz, amor, love, chara, joy, and next week will be hope. These emotions speak so loudly to us, especially as Christians. Sometimes we struggle with these emotions. We can struggle with joy, especially during holiday seasons. Let the words that I speak tonight bring a blessing to those who hear these words. Let them change the way they see you as we move through our struggles, especially when someone may have chronic illness or chronic pain. Tonight is about finding joy in you, knowing that the bodies that we dwell in are only temporary. In your precious name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
So tonight's scripture reading is pretty short, but also asking us a lot. It's asking us to find joy in times of struggles. If we're somebody who lives with chronic pain, it's asking you to find joy in that chronic pain, not to celebrate that chronic pain. And anybody who is struggling or living with chronic pain, and especially during the holidays, this can be tough. We know a lot of us sometimes during the holidays suffer or deal with a lot of grief because of passings of loved ones. So how do we find the joy in this holiday season when we have all this stuff going on that is hard for us to deal with? And I want to give credit to Alicia Michelle, who is the owner and editor of Vibrant Family, and who gave me some insights how to find joy in our struggles, how to find joy in chronic illness, how to find joy when our bodies are ailing us. I also, when I was in seminary, had a professor who talked about this, because this professor was a writer. And John Berquist has written many books. And he started having a problem with his eyes. He started struggling. What am I going to do? This is how I make a living. What am I going to do? How can I write anymore? He almost lost his joy of writing. And it made him put things in perspective. Because at the end of the day, he realized all of our bodies are going to fail us at one time or another. We're all going to face some kind of ailments that plague us. We may not be able to do the things we used to do. And so, how do you find joy? You have to look beyond yourself. You need to look into the joy of God. The Spirit of God will bring you that joy that can help you through your ailments, your pain. It is the joy of God, that God is with you. And that's why in our opening today, in the call to worship, it wasn't so much the pain that Jesus was suffering, but it was the Spirit of God upon Jesus that brought Jesus the joy to go to the cross. It was the Spirit of God with Jesus that Jesus took on that pain. It is the same Spirit of Jesus that can be within you. Do not let your ailments take away from your life with God in your life, with Jesus in your life. Is it hard? Yes. Is it easy? No. Are you going to question, why me? That's a common question. Why are you doing this to me, God? Let's think about that for one moment. Is God really doing this to you? Or is it just the world we live in? Is it just the way we age, the conditions of the world that we live in that does this to you? All you have to remember is God is with you during your pain. You know, a few years ago, while I was at that seminary, I did it all night, stayed up all night as I was writing papers and stuff. And the next day, I had this loud ringing in my ear. And it still continues to this day. It's a thing I have to live with. It's called tinnitus. Does it bother me? Yes. Is it annoying? Heck yes. But I learned to move through it. I don't let this pain bother me. I don't let it rob me of my joy with God. I also now have been having a constant migraine. But I will not let it ruin my joy to come here and share the words of God with you. I will not let it destroy my Spirit of God. And this is what tonight is about. And I feel like there's so many people right now going through things. In fact, tonight, as Anna Marie and I were driving up here, we hit the light on Pecos and Bonanza, and this guy's honking at us. And we put down the window. And Anna Marie's sitting right here. The guy's on the next car over this in this lane here. And he goes, "Is that your mom?" I said, "No." He goes, "Oh, because I just lost my mom yesterday. She was 72 years old. She died of cancer." And it's like, why? We didn't know why. Why else did he feel that was important? But maybe just seeing Anna Marie in that seat just wanted us to know that we should cherish life, cherish those who we have with us. The small things in life that we should look at. And even though we grieve somebody during the holiday seasons, let's not let that grieving rob us of that joy. Because the person who we are grieving wouldn't want us to lose our joy of life, of hope, of love, and peace. This is the message that's being spoken tonight. During times of struggle, let's not lose our joy to live. If each day we wake up and we are breathing, let's celebrate the gift of our God, the breath of life that God gives us. We each have pain in our lives. We each have little struggle. I'm going to go a little deeper with myself. I've never shared this before with anybody other than my husband knows and my children know. My immediate family know. As a child, I had a rough childhood. Not because of being trans, nothing with my gender identity, I lost my hair at an early age. I was born with alopecia. I struggled so much. I used to pray to get my hair back. I used to get picked on in school a lot because I was so different. I would wear caps to hide. It was painful. I hated going to school. But I never let that ruin my joy with God. I kept my journey with God in all the struggles that I went through. Is it hard? Yes. Is it easy? No. Why do I share that with you? Because we all have struggles. And we can't let that take away the joy of living. So that's my own personal struggle that I share with you. So when you look at someone, don't say, I wish I was like that person. Because that person may not have an easy journey. It may look like on the outside, but you never know what that person is going through unless you're walking in their shoes.
Amen.
Appreciate your own life. Appreciate what you have and the blessings that you have. Don't look at the negatives of your life. If you start looking at the negative, yes, you might get depressed. It's easy to get depressed. But look beyond that. Look at what God has done for you, and look what God has done for humanity. God gave his only child, which we're all child of God, but, God gave a child to go to the cross, to watch Jesus be tortured in an unthinkable way. And Jesus didn't have guilt, but Jesus bucked the system. Don't you think God ached when Jesus was on that cross? Don't you think God aches whenever you're going through something harsh? When you lose a loved one? When you're going through any type of pain? Don't you think God feels for you? So why do you want to give up on life? Wouldn't it be better to be a testimony for other people? To use that to bring joy to somebody.
Amen.
To use it so you can uplift somebody, to give somebody hope. That you're not giving up on life. That you're going to keep going. And you're going to trust that there's going to be a day that you will not feel any pain. You will see your loved one again. We are promised this, right? So why shouldn't you celebrate in that news? Is that not good news for you? Last night, some of us got to watch the movie Christmas Shoes. And it's a movie, it kind of deals with two families. One is deals with this boy with his mom dying. And the mom gives it her best. She gives fullness in her life. The other family, the dad is a workaholic, too caught up in working a lot and wants money, chasing that money. And I'm not, saying that, give up all your money. But he's got his life set in the material things. He wants to buy this house. He wants to have, material stuff for his family. So much that he doesn't take a little time to go watch his daughter in a Christmas pageant or, go sing. And so he's missing his daughter growing up because he wants to make this money from his work. And so they run into each other at a store. They're both shopping. He goes to buy his girl some presents and maybe his wife some presents. And this little boy goes to the store to buy a pair of shoes for his mom. A pair of red shoes. He goes in to buy these red shoes because he wants his mom to have a special pair of shoes when she goes to heaven. And the reason why he bought the shoes is because he heard his mom talk about to a friend of theirs, which is the same lady that belongs to the husband who's a workaholic. He hears them talking, and she says, when we were together early in our lives, we danced. And she loved to dance. And so the son hears this, and he's thinking, I want her to get her dancing shoes so she can dance in heaven. And so he's in this store buying his mom the shoes while the dad, who's out workaholic, is in the store also. And the kid cuts in front of him at the counter and goes to count the money to pay for the shoes, and he comes up short. And this guy's looking at him. And the cashier was just, you could have almost slapped him across the head because he was so rude to this little boy. Like, hurry up, give me the money. There's other people behind you. This cashier didn't understand what the boy was doing. And so this guy started to have a feeling of what this kid was going through. And he stopped the boy. He goes, why do you want these shoes? And then the little boy looks up at him and says, Mister, if you only knew, I want these shoes for my mom. This is going to be her last Christmas. She's dying. And the man takes out money and gives him the money for the shoes. And so the boy takes home the shoes to the mom. And then the man doesn't buy the stuff that he was going to buy. He left. Instead, he found out where they were, because the daughter and the mom were out caroling. And they wound up at the boy's house where the mom was dying. And the husband goes over there and joins them. Because it clicked on him that he was being too selfish and thinking about himself and what he wanted instead of his wife and his daughter. And so it changed his attitude. Because in some sense, he was robbing his wife and his daughter of the joy of his presence. And so that kid educated him. There's more to life than worrying about the small things in life. It's the joy of others. We all can make a difference in somebody's lives, and there's always somebody watching you. So how will you treat others? Whose joy will you rob? Or will you give somebody joy today? Amen.
Amen.
And if we could please rise, we will sing the response song, Joy to the World, page 22, song 23.
Please stand as you're willing and able for the doxology. Standing for the dedication of our gifts. Holy God, our answer to is yes. Yes, we will serve only you. Yes, we will bring our whole selves to the effort. Yes, we will sing your praises to the universe. Accept these offerings as tangible proof of our collective yes. May they be magnified for your use in our time. Amen.
Here at Mary Magdalene, Friends United Church of Christ, we celebrate an open communion. That means you do not have to be a member of this church or any organized religion. Wherever you are, and whoever you are in life's journey, you are welcome at this table. There is no age requirement, and you don't have to do anything before coming to this table. If you are here building a relationship with your God, your Creator, this is a table for you to come and see how good God is. So we thank God for this table. We thank Jesus for preparing a way for us to come closer to our God. We thank you for these gifts. And we thank you for the many blessings that you give us. From the beginning of time through all of creation, You have reigned with us. Sometimes we fail to see you working in our lives. But today, as we come forth and receive these sacraments, let them be a reminder to us of what you do for us every day, how you walk with us on our journeys, in the times we are suffering and the times we are struggling. You are here within us, here alongside of us. You surround us with your love, a merciful love, and you forgive us in the times where we slip up, in the times we do wrong. You forgive us with your merciful love. And we sing with all the angels of joy your words of love. As we sing, and so we remember on the night that Jesus was betrayed, he took the unleavened bread, gave it thanks, blessed it, broke it, gave it to his disciples, and said, "Take this, eat from it. This is my body broken for you. As often as you eat from it, may you not suffer anymore, but live in joy, that I live in you. As often as you eat from this bread, do this in remembrance of me." Likewise, at the end of the supper, he took the cup, again gave it thanks, blessed it, gave it to the disciples, saying, "This is the cup of the everlasting love, shed for you, so that all sins may be forgiven. Whenever you do wrong, remember I am with you. I forgive you. As often as you drink from this cup, do this in remembrance of me." And as often as we come to this table as a community, believing in the body of Christ, as we eat from this bread and drink from this cup, we remember the life, the death, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ, and hoping for his return. Come, see how good our God is. Most Heavenly God, we thank you. We thank you for these gifts today. We thank you for your constant love in guiding us every step of the way. We thank you for this table. We thank you for this community that you brought us into, and you welcome us every time we come to this table. Every time somebody comes through the doors, you welcome us into your presence. And we thank you for your presence in this world today. In your precious name we pray. Amen. So I am not giving the benediction now because we are going to, and just for those who came in afterwards, we are now going from communion and we are doing our wellness part of the service. For those who don't know, we will be, anybody that is comfortable can come up and lay hands on another person. We were going to pray for people tonight. I felt this is important, especially in a time of Advent, and as we are, as this is the week of joy. Let us find joy in our health, in our wellness. So as we pray for healing, it doesn't necessarily have to be a physical healing, but maybe a spiritual healing. That we learn how to live whatever our conditions are, however our bodies are ailing us, that we still live with the joy of Christ, the joy of God within us. So that when we go out in the world, people see God within us. Amen?
Amen.
So if you're comfortable, you can come up for prayers. I have a chair over here, so I'll scoot up here. So those who maybe not be able to stand, you can sit in the chair while we pray over you too. And anybody that wants to come and pray over somebody, feel free to come and lay hands on a person. Because where 2 or 3 are gathered together and in prayer, God is in our presence. God is in our presence this whole service. But we're asking for special prayer upon everybody tonight that comes forth. And if Jen is watching, we are praying for you, Jen. So maybe we will do a special prayer for Jen. We'll touch the chair for Jen. Okay. Jen is an old friend of mine, who's a longtime friend, who's having difficulty right now. So we'll pray. Yeah, one at a time. But anybody here? And if you have a special prayer that you want, pray believing. Christy today in her body and in her spirit, that you anoint her. Let her feel your presence and know that she's not alone. In times where her body ails her, where she's struggling to breathe, know that you are there with her in every breath. Give her the strength and the joy to live life and not to give up. Let her realize everything she has to offer. Let her be a testimony for you. And you all can pray too. Say your prayers aloud as you're praying over her and everything. Several people can pray. Okay? Just so you know as we're praying over people.
Dear God, I pray. Thank you, Lord, for Christy. We pray right now against pain. We pray against suffering. We pray for strength to fill her body from the top of her head to the soles of her feet. We pray against pain. We perfectly and beautifully made. And that you can give the strength for her, give her comfort, draw her straight to your chest, Lord, and wrap her up tight. Hold her all her days and her nights. Keep her safe from all harm. I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Lord, be with Christy. We thank you.
Hirosan haran no noran heas, hiras araban noraban no naraban heas, hiron no noran nos no nen hiran no sarakrias, hirabarasan niharan heas.
Remove the things from our Lord that don't serve her anymore. Maybe things were from the past, but now they're gone. Take it away from her, Lord. You can do it. Release her free. Give her new freedom in your Lord.
always understand. But we know you are here with us and her in the times of her pain and her struggles. It makes you feel you. We should know that you're with her. Touch her. Take the worry from her mind, take the cares from her heart. I pray that you would open the eyes of the physicians treating her. It takes a village and together there will be a healing. Your divine intervention, Lord, and good medicine from the doctor. Your child will be healed. In Jesus' name. Joy of life. Be able to work through this. Your life, you are there. You are her husband. You are her rock. In the holy name we pray. She is not like everybody else. But that difference is what makes her unique. That difference is what makes her a child of yours. So let her not want to be like everybody else. But let her accept her difference. And realize that she can teach other people that it's okay to be who they are in all their differences. And let her realize she is in your image. This is only flesh on the outside. Yes, if you touch her spirit, strengthen that spirit so she will have confidence in herself and everything she does for you. To quit dwelling on what may seem to be a negative. Take those negatives and turn them into the joy. Because in those negatives, you bless us. In the times of struggle, you bless us. You are here with us. You are always beside us. You are grieving with us. Let her have the strength and grow in wisdom to understand who you really are. Even though you are unseen, you can be seen. Even though you may not shout, you can be heard in our silence. Teach her to be silent enough to hear you. To hear you speak to her. Teach her to have the patience she needs for others around her. Give her the strength she needs when others tempt her. So when others start annoying her, give her the strength she needs to be patient. And ask that you be her counselor, her guidance. Let her feel strong in her walk with you.
Dear God, our Creator, our Mother, our Father, we come before you tonight, interceding for Tanya. She's in pain in her heart, in her spirit, in her soul that's crying out to you, Lord. When a child cries out to its parent, what happens? Take good care of Tanya. Show her the strength she has within her because it's already there, Lord. You showed it to me inside her, and I see it. And I know you see it too, Lord. Show Tanya her own strength. Let her see that the obstacles in her path are not greater than the strength that is within her. Let her not dwell on how far she has to go, Lord, but how far she has come. Lord, let her see that she is a beautiful, perfect child, made incredibly perfect and beautifully in your image. Lord, we pray against confusion. We pray against complacency, Lord. We pray for you, Lord. We pray for Tanya. We pray right now for her strength. That she find it, Lord, because it's already in there. It's burning bright like a candle, Lord. Take the scales from her eyes so that she can see. So she can see the strength that's already there, Lord. That she can see how strong she is. How wonderful she is. How fearfully made that she is. That her body, though is different, is still perfect. That her mind can be healed.
Hiro nora no nora na nora
that she can
neas.
affect her own
Siro
future
nora
for good,
nora
and that she
no
can be
nora
a light in the
neas.
world to
Ira
other people,
nara nora
that she can
no
help
no
others
nora
with her
no
own
neas.
testimony,
Hiro
with her own
no
service,
no
Lord.
nora
Let her
neas.
see what a good
Hiro
servant that
nora
she is to her
no
community,
no
and
nora
how
no
much she means to
noas.
us.
Hiro
Lord,
nora
I pray for
no
Tanya right
no
now,
no
in
nora
all
noas.
aspects of her
Hira
life, Lord.
nara no
Anoint her from the
nora
top of her head
noas.
to the soles
Hira
of her feet,
nara no
all the way,
no
Lord.
no noas.
Hold her close to you, Lord. Draw her to your bosom and tell her that she is your special child and that you love her especially. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. It's already in your time. God showed me. Open your ears, baby. Open your eyes. It's there. God's talking to you all the time.
But yesterday, I was sick, maybe, and I was walking, no peace, no work,
He's surrounded with you.
nothing.
He's surrounded with love.
And we said, I could be out my walker, or a wheelchair, because I'm a liability.
Okay. So that's the rule.
Feel down.
Only walk in your room then.
You realize your journey is
That's the rules of where you live.
No, I tried.
You're about that walks with
Sick,
you.
and
You're your normal. You are your normal. Just like I've got to be my normal and Anna Marie's got to be hers.
some people started saying that, you know, right, that church will get the tickets, so that's why I walk.
That's not true. And we know it.
Now I'm a fully liability.
You may fall, and you might be a fallen liability. I can't say that that's not true. So follow
As a
the
child,
rules
you
of
tell us to be
the
like
place
the
that you
child.
live, because you have to have.
In our walk with you,
Yeah.
to trust you like a child.
Honey, what you have,
And I say you trust
and
me.
what you need is already in
We
you.
ask that
You just don't see it.
affirm that
You just don't see it.
that you really know.
It's absolutely.
We agree.
You are strong. You are stronger than big mine. You just can't do it.
And you walk forward.
And then, when she was talking,
Gifted in me, so we started. Just ask for it. It's routine to know that.
And that's gonna hurt
Is
for a long
this,
time.
this is the second year.
I've missed my best friend. It's been 9 years now. And I don't miss her any less than when she died.
A year ago.
I still function, I still do what needs to be done, and practice what needs to be done. We still have what yours. Yes, you have it. But you're still doing it. You're here now.
Literally fortunate.
feel you affirming.
You don't have to wear heels to be a good person, to be a good woman, to be anything.
To know that she can trust at times she feels down. Times that depression may take over.
God does not want you to suffer. You clearly suffer.
Know that you were there and she's not alone. Times that she may doubt herself.
Something
You were there.
God knows what you're thinking.
God
Just like you were there.
keep them apart.
Jesus
Because it's time
was
for
in
you.
agony.
Don't think about it again.
First I pray for puppy.
But you can't pray away the will of God. Because we're trying to die, and she dies. And you just have to deal with that.
My mother still was in her kingdom.
And if people want to tell you about how you want to be wherever for attention,
In 1 year and out the other.
This is in the garden. Tables come around. Sometimes it doesn't get. We have to walk through it.
is a huge epiphany. That's a big thing. Right.
Walk through. It may seem like it feels like
So you do know that you're still alive, you know these things do counseling.
you will understand.
If you want to continue with counseling, you continue with counseling. If you want to go back, I don't see that as a problem. You are still here, you're still you, you're still absolutely perfect.
You never
You're
fall.
perfectly fine.
You know,
Celebrate being perfectly fine. Celebrate that shit. Get in your chair and dance. Hold on to something and dance. And damn it, you do time, but that's kind of fine. You're so it's like, my aneurysms are fractured. I'm one person here, from one person to different person when I go down. That's normal. You wanna be normal, that's normal. Having multiple personalities is normal. I have multiple personalities, is that a problem? No.
and it won't be a problem to you either.
Give me your phone number, and make sure that I have. I say I don't have my phone with me, because it's dead, and I'll let the house dead. So please leave me my number. Okay. Yes, I absolutely.
As we leave here tonight, let us leave remembering and knowing that we have a God who loves us and is walking with us. A God that is walking in front of us, a God that is walking in back of us, a God that is walking below us, above us, alongside of us, and most importantly, a God who is walking within us. So let us go out with that joy, knowing that God will never forsake us, just as God did not forsake Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
And we'll go out in silence.
I doubt that.